Hey everyone, welcome back to another 31-minute podcast. Here
Hello,
I am with the
everyone.
man. Here I am with the man himself,
The man himself, Matt Steinway.
Broccoli. We're talking about bringing out another podcast, aren't we?
Yes.
Yeah,
Should I explain it to them?
this
what
will
it
be
could
interesting.
about?
Yeah, this is all Broccoli's idea. So
So it's pretty much just the broccoli perspective. When I look at this podcast, I think of Matt Steinway. So he's very much older than me, much more experienced, way more successful than me. And then there's Broccoli, 21 years old, done absolutely nothing with his life. So I
but
think,
you are building something.
yeah. So I think it would be cool to ask Matt questions about anything and just see the perspective of a 47-year-old.
Hey,
48-year-old, very wealthy man, versus the perspective of 21-year-old, eyes wide open. What does he do with his life?
well, I think it's a bit more than that.
Yeah, it's pretty much Matt Steinway
It's
uncut.
like cover any topic, nothing off limits.
Nothing off limits.
We're going to talk about life, conspiracy theories,
Yep.
growth,
Matt's crazy
success,
stories.
whatever. So anyway, it might be a hit, it might not. We'll see how it
Yes.
goes. But that'll be on a totally different channel. We'll do that
Yeah.
very soon. We'll actually start this week.
Okay, cool.
All right.
And if anyone's got any weird topics you want us to cover, then by all means.
Done. Sorry,
Alright,
someone
so
might just text me. Okay, let's get into this. So can I talk about 31 minutes for a minute?
Yes.
Now, before everybody glazes over and turns their attention off, I really, really want you to hear my thoughts on this. Because 31 minutes is way more than getting up and going to the gym.
Yeah.
Like it's way more than that. It's a lifestyle, it's a philosophy, it's a principle, it's a concept. But I reckon that people become successful because of that. Not just the 31 minutes, but what it actually means, whether they know they do or don't. Because it's like, first you got to expand your mind, but then how do you put that into play?
Well, how do you?
Well, you're a good example of this at the moment.
Yes.
You're talking about being on radio. You're
Yeah.
talking about you want to create your brand. So
Yeah.
obviously I'm helping you where I can. But how do you join the dots, Broccoli, as a 21-year-old boy, man? But how do you join the dots? So it's really easy to say, you know what, one of the things that gave me this idea to do this podcast is Grant Cardone's 10X.
Yeah.
And you know what I find funny about that? It's not funny. It's the 10X concept. I get it. All right. So let's say you make $1 million a year.
Yeah.
And how do you go to 10 million?
That seems like such a long way away.
It is a long way away.
Yeah.
But let's say you sell 3 homes a month.
Yeah.
How do you go to 30? If the 10X
yeah.
rule
Yeah.
is what it says, I get it's a following, it's a concept, I get all that. Where's the practicality in it?
I don't see the
And
practicality.
I'm not
in
criticizing it
No.
at all. Like I get part of it,
Yeah.
but it expands your mind. I think that's what the 10X
Yeah, I think,
concept
yeah.
does. But how do you get there? Now,
Yeah.
before you jump in, and I want to hear what you got to say, I've been working in real estate for 25 years.
Yep.
That's a long time.
Ages.
It's half of my life.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that you can get excited about selling. So if you're selling 3 homes a month and you want to take that to, let's say 10, forget 30. 30 is way too far. So let's say 10 homes a month. How do you do it? That's not 10X,
No.
that's 3X.
Yeah.
So how do you do that?
I don't even know.
That's right. Like that's what I'm saying to you. It's where's the glue? Where's the bridge in this thing? So if you're earning 100,000 a year, let's take you. Can we talk about your wage?
Okay.
You get
Yeah.
60,000 a year. Let's 10x it, right? 10x
One
it to
day.
600,000 a year.
Yeah. How would I do that?
What are you going to do? What do you do?
Literally, that's the thing. Where do I even start?
Yeah.
Yeah.
31 minutes is the key to this thing. And someone said to me, actually Jordan on the way from the gym this morning,
Yeah.
he's a 26-year-old kid who is very focused on work. You work around him.
He is,
You know, and
yeah.
you will double your wage and all this sort of stuff over time. But I want to talk about this journey because I've been where you are.
Yeah.
Like I understand it. There's a lot of things people don't see as well. And that's why you can't always judge yourself on other people. Because I know the link with Grant Cardone,
Yeah.
for instance. You know, he's a Scientologist.
Did not know that.
So he's a Scientologist. And he's quite up there in Scientology. And if you know, do you know much about Scientology?
No, not much.
people are like governments are looking at it saying, is it a religion or is it not a religion?
Yeah.
Because I'm not a Scientologist, but I know a bit about it.
Yeah.
And I've studied a bit of it. And it's like L. Ron Hubbard, who created Scientology, said that we come from outer space.
Yeah.
And I don't know the in-depth. I'm not going to go and pretend that I know it all. But they say that we are from aliens, basically.
Yeah.
And as much as I know, so I could be wrong in some of this, but it's like they do all these tests and you work your way through levels and you got to pay. You got to pay to go through it. You got to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars. So John Travolta, there's many, Tom Cruise, a lot of them are in it, and they're celebrities, and they pay to work their way through. But then they keep paying. Watch the documentary. I've watched.
People need to watch the documentary for sure.
Really interesting, and it's very.
Wait, what's the documentary called?
Oh, pardon?
What's the documentary called?
Oh, Scientology. I don't know, but there's a few out now. And some done from people who have broken away. That's not what I'm talking about. But I think Grant Cardone has had the backing of some very wealthy people to leapfrog him because he was a sales trainer. You don't buy $60 million jets just from running around doing seminars to car yard salespeople. Yeah. There's been a jump here, and I've followed him for a long time. I watch him to see what he's done. And how he's done. He's got Cardone Capital. He's got this. Has he 10x'd his life? Yes, he has. But what you don't see...
He's got a helicopter now.
He's got a helicopter now. You know, so that was probably a $10 million helicopter.
Yeah, surely.
But what you don't always get to see is what's happened. Like I read an article, has he joined the Illuminati?
That's what no one knows.
That's right. That's why you can't always judge this. No. But what I'm going to talk about today is the practicality of expanding where you're at. So you can go join the Illuminati. You can go join Scientology. You can do all sorts of stuff. But people don't get, well, that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is how do you get from 3 sales to 10 sales? How do you get from 60,000 to 120,000? How do you get from $1 million to 2 million? How do you do that?
Is probably, well, what you've told me, the daily commitment each day. Like the small incremental steps build up over time.
It is.
It's like compounding interest.
So you've got to expand your mind first.
Yeah.
Compounding interest, just throw that one in there. So you've got to expand your mind first. So when you see me doing 31 minutes and I go to the gym, why am I doing that?
Well, you want to be the fittest 50-year-old on... Yeah, you want to be the fittest 50-year-old when you get to 50.
There's my vision. The fittest 50-year-old on the planet.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got a year and a half. I better hurry up.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like...
No, I'm joining the Illuminati.
But from where I was before...
Yeah.
I've way progressed from that, and now I hold it and stay steady. So the steps are: what are you prepared to do to get there? So what are you prepared to do every day to get there?
Yeah.
So Jordan was in bed this morning, and I said, mate, he's got. We talk about his little podge down the bottom here on his stomach, and I said, oh, so you just growing the podge this morning? He didn't get up, and he laughed and he goes, mate, you're just so consistent. You're just so consistent in doing the same stuff.
Yeah.
And I am, but I know that's the power of the commitment that I've made. So if I want something over here, forget 10x, 2x, whatever, that's the expand your mind part. So if I want to expand my vision, so this is the next thing that I want, what's my commitment around that?
It's going to the gym.
Okay,
so if
it's my body, that's going to the gym. If it's my work, what is it?
Making the extra phone calls when you don't feel like it?
Yeah. Do I allow a block of time where I'm going to move my business forward in prospecting? Unfortunately, a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
A lot of people want the vision, but they're not connecting it with a commitment. So 31 minutes is about an all-round commitment in every area of your life. Yeah. If I want a great relationship, and I've had a few train wrecks, so if I want a great relationship, what do I need to do?
Make time and commitment for your partner.
Yeah.
Make her feel happy.
Yeah, that's right. Get into their world, understand it, and commit. Yeah. So Saturday, went to Mr. Wong's. Did I feel like going to Mr. Wong's after a full day Saturday? Jordan said to me the next morning, he goes, I don't know how you went after Saturday, because it was jam-packed, auction-filled craziness. I went to Mr. Wong's. Yeah. Why?
To make that time and commitment for your partner, because you want a great relationship.
That's right.
Yeah.
31 minutes. Yeah. Done. So in my head, it's like a mental checklist. Yeah. Every day is a bit where I've gone, this is the areas of my life I want to expand. Here's my commitment to it. And I've got all these, I call it 31 minutes. Could be an hour, could be whatever. But I say all these 31-minute blocks, Not even all these, 3 of them, 4 of them. Like Logan at the moment, he's got no license. He wants to be a pro surfer. He can't get to the beach right now. You've got that in your day. I've got that in my day. He's got to get to the beach. So I've got to find time in that somewhere. So that's what it means to me. But are you serious enough about it? Like, are you serious enough about, it's easy to expand your mind. You say it all the time. You want to be a radio disc jockey.
Yeah, something like that.
Or whatever.
Entertainer,
whatever. How's that going to happen, Broccoli?
Well, exactly. You can't just say it.
Yeah, tell me the steps to get there. What's your
Steps.
31 minutes around that?
31 minutes is to, okay, well, first of all, get some knowledge around it. So I've got some knowledge on how to make content, but then it's how to talk in front of a microphone, how to keep an audience engaged, or blah, blah, blah. So then basically every day I would look at the news articles and I would look at it and I'd get 3 points down and I would try to talk about it for 30 seconds. And I'd do that every day and I'd say, this is Amy Shark, you're listening to The Broccoli Show. And eventually I'll be good enough for when the opportunity does come that I won't crap myself in front of a microphone. Also, this podcast and other podcasts that I do, if you get audio of yourself, you just put that away in like a folder and then eventually you try and make the best audio show reel you can. And then you send it off to Nova, KISS, whoever you want to work for. And then it's like you're pitching yourself as if I was an actor. I'd have to audition. Stuff like that.
So these little things, although part of this is my vision, you've turned it in part of your vision now. So isn't that like working at a company? Same thing. You might not own the company, but you can make your role in that company your opportunity to attract the opportunity to your next thing.
But also, so I work with you full time.
You do.
And I still work with you full time. So I make sure that everything I do in the day is for like your work.
You do.
And then whenever I go home, I can go and watch Netflix. But no, I choose to do what I want to do.
Yep.
Like it's fun to me.
So you're working on your vision part-time so you can do it full-time. And I'm helping you because I genuinely want to see you succeed. Here's an interesting thing to think about, right? Whatever area of your life, it takes years. Like it takes such a long time. Let's not... these Instagram things where they say, oh, I've made 7 figures in 3 months. Good on you. I don't know. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. I don't really know. That's what I mean. You don't know what goes on behind the scenes of things. All I've experienced is it takes a long time. I love the body because the body doesn't lie.
No.
I've had a month or a few weeks of just eating rubbish and just not my usual diet, put on a couple of extra kilos, all that sort of stuff. Now I've got to work it back off again. So at the end of this month, I'm back on to, I started training really well now, but as of today, but in my mind, it's the end of the month. I want you to think about this. Let's use the body as an indicator because I reckon it reflects every area of your life. Do you know how hard it is to actually change your body?
Yes, I do.
Yeah? You do?
Especially at like your age.
Yeah.
Someone like my age, well, my metabolism's pretty fast and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably not that hard at my age.
So think about this.
Yeah.
How do you actually make changes in your body?
Consistency.
If I want a better bicep, how do I change it?
Well, you go to the gym and you work biceps and you put it under stress. How do you work biceps?
1 rep.
Well, not 1 rep, heaps of reps.
So just say 1 rep.
1 rep, yeah.
What does 1 rep do?
Well, it puts time...
But what does 1 rep do? Am I going to do 1 rep and I'm like, well, I've got better biceps.
It does nothing.
No, 2 reps.
Nothing.
80 reps.
Nothing.
400 reps.
Probably a little bit, yeah.
Maybe. 3,000 reps.
That's when you'd probably start to see a more toned bicep.
Yeah. So you let's say you go do 40 reps at the gym, go home, you'll probably see no improvement.
No.
4 months.
Yeah.
But you can't work your bicep every day. So it's like you got to work around your body.
Yeah.
You might do it once a week.
Yeah.
And then just go to your rest and whatever else. And it gets a bit of effect from your other muscles, like you might use it in other things. So to see a good change in your bicep, how long is that going to take?
Probably 6 months or something like that.
6 months?
Yeah.
And you might start seeing some change.
Yeah.
And 1 rep, 1 session. So 1 rep, 1 exercise, 1 session. 1 rep, 1 exercise, 1 session. So you do 3 or 4 exercises in a session, and then you go. So 6 months. Then you start to see some change.
Yeah.
And now how long is it going to take that's just change.
Yeah.
And how long is it going to take to get good?
That would take
Like, so someone looks at it and goes, whoa, that's a good bicep.
That would take even longer, wouldn't it?
Years?
Yeah.
Like 5, 6, 7 years probably to get if you want a top standard bicep, that's 1 muscle in your entire body. Yeah?
Right.
That's how long it takes. Here's the funny thing. If you don't hold that focus, what happens to it?
Well, then you're just going to go back down.
It disappears.
Goes away.
It disappears.
Yeah.
That's right. And so too will the attraction to your vision. So it's easy to expand your mind. Let's go 10x for a minute.
Yeah.
So let's go 10x. Broccoli wants to earn 800 grand a year. Okay, great. There you go.
That's the biggest chest.
Now what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
Every single part of your life is the same. Holding that focus is the tricky part. Holding that focus and saying, no, uncompromisingly, I'm doing this today because it attaches to my vision. That's how you need to see it.
100%. And do you think it's weird how, like, that gym analogy, people go to the gym, right? And they do 1 rep and they'll come home and they won't see any changes, but they still believe that if they keep going, they'll see changes.
Yes.
But they don't believe that with much other things.
This is why it's important.
Yeah.
Well, yes and no.
Yeah.
Because it's like your vision has got to be where the excitement is. Because the rest is not that exciting.
Yeah.
Like, it's actually a bit painful.
Yeah.
It's like you got to get up when you don't want to. You got to
getting
go
up
when
and
you
you're
don't want to.
hurting
So
yourself,
at the gym, I did 2 leg sessions yesterday. So
Stuff that.
well, I did legs and then I did speed things on the bike. You know why? Because I'm like, if I do both, it's going to move me quicker a little bit forward. So would you say out of 10, where am my focus on my vision out of 10?
10.
10.
Yeah.
Because I'll go regardless.
Yeah.
99% of the time. And I think if you're not seeing enough change in your life, you've got to really think about the 31-minute part, not the vision part.
Yeah.
The 10x is done. But then you've got to hold that for the next decade.
Yeah.
So how long did it take me to get number 1 McGrath?
20-something years.
15 years.
15 years.
When I decided to, from the time I
That's a
decided
long
to the time I
time.
did it, 15 years. So I really understand the power of 31. Like I really understand. That's how I did it. So it's like every day I'm like, enough prospecting calls, enough this, enough that, whatever else. But you have to give up other things in your life. It really intrigues me. So Jackson went out last night.
Yeah.
He was supposed to edit a video for me today. I think you're going to do it today.
Yes, I am gonna
Yeah,
do
you're
it.
picking up the ball. Supposed to edit a video for me yesterday to have it ready today. He's got his own gym progression as well happening. He's had so much progress in the last 2 months, so much. And here's his words. He texted me today. Hey, Dad, I didn't get time to finish it. Sorry, I had a big night on Saturday night. Really set me back. We'll finish tonight. Where's his focus?
Having a maybe big weekend.
Out of 10. Is his focus now on his vision?
No, it's
No.
not.
What's it on? Recovery.
Recovery.
Days.
Yeah.
And you go backwards. But what if he stuck to his 31 every day?
But would he get bored though? What about if he got bored? Maybe that's why he went out, because maybe he just got bored.
Okay.
Like some people.
This is a great question. And that's a question from a 21-year-old.
Yes,
How
exactly.
much? Let me ask you this. How much do you want it?
Well, that's the question, isn't it?
No, let me ask you. How much do you want it?
A lot. Yeah.
Yeah, boredom doesn't come into play. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It does not come into play. Because you know what I was just about to talk about, and you jumped in at the perfect spot.
Yeah.
Because you should be that excited about the vision, so that the 10x thing that you've created, that excited that your 31s are so important, you don't feel right when you don't do them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how important that 31 step is. So what's more important, boredom or excitement?
Excitement.
Excitement.
Yeah.
If you're feeling a bit bored, why is that? What have you lost?
Your excitement.
Around?
Your whole vision.
That's right.
Yeah.
So as soon as that boredom creeps in, you can almost feel it starting to disappear.
Well, what do you do when that boredom creeps in?
Don't get
'Cause
bored.
over the 15 years, did you ever get bored of your vision?
No,
So even like waking up every day, 4 o'clock,
I wanted it that much.
dropping letters in the book.
No, never.
Yeah, that's impressive.
I wanted it that much. When you really want something, and I mean, like I can feel it in here when I'm talking about it. Like I want it that much. Like even my life now, like I still want it that much that like I'm driven to do the 31 things.
Yeah.
Like I am. I'm driven. You've seen the chaos I've had to go through the last four years or so, or
Yeah, it's
few
pretty
years.
crazy.
Like tell me about it. Most people would have, I reckon, just given up. Like I had, whatever, you name it, divorces, kids, this, that, whatever. Like, but I'm as driven as I made the decision.
Yeah.
Like so driven. Even now, I'm like,
Yeah.
sometimes you achieve it, and then you're like, what now? And you lose your way a little bit. Like the fire's not as strong,
Yeah.
but you just got to stay your course and then find a new vision and take your time to do that. And then you will click in again.
Yeah.
But if you're bored on the way to your vision, you don't want it enough. Like you don't, because you'll sleep in or you'll go out and, like I just won't drink now.
Yeah.
I just don't drink. Even Tara said the other night, she said on Saturday night, let's have a drink. She did, I didn't. Why didn't I?
Because you knew it would have set you back.
Yeah, I knew I had legs the next day.
Yeah.
I'm not prepared to. So do I want my vision more than a drink?
Yes.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah. And people say, oh, I want to have a few drinks to unwind. Well, all right, well, what's the cost of that?
If it's just a few, I mean, you could probably train the next day, but if you're going to go out and get absolutely
Well, yeah,
sloshed,
let's talk about that. If it's just a few, that's such a good example of average.
Yeah.
I'll just have a few.
Yeah.
All right, that's great. Well, what few notches do you want to knock down the next day? I'm not saying
Especially if you're
don't
doing that
relax.
every day.
I'm not saying don't relax. Maybe prepare for relax.
Yeah.
So you're going to know in 3 weeks' time you're going to go out on a bit of a night out.
Yeah.
And then the next day you're just going to train around it or do work around it. So you've got this bit of a bubble around being able to do it. There's nothing worse than doing it and feeling like you've let yourself down.
Yeah. And I reckon it's different for people my age. Well, then I suppose what Jackson just said. But like, if I was to go out, I'd feel a bit crap, but I could still probably get up and do things. But that's
You
probably
probably
because I'm just
could.
younger.
Yeah, you probably could.
Yeah.
If I knew what I knew now, I'd be like the biggest powerhouse at 20 years old. Like
Really?
you would never.
I was
Yeah,
going to say that.
I would be the biggest powerhouse. Drugs, drink. You know how many years I wasted on drugs?
Yeah.
Mate,
But would you go out and stuff?
probably not.
You don't reckon?
Well, hardly. If I know what I knew now,
Yeah.
I would be like, okay, you go out to pick girls up, really,
Yeah.
don't you? Really,
Suppose,
when you're
yeah.
your age, you go out to meet girls and stuff. I reckon
Not me,
girls are
on the
more.
record.
I reckon girls are more attracted to a guy who's going somewhere,
Yeah, 100%.
not a guy who's like trying to dribble all over them in
That's
the beer
true.
garden.
Yeah, that's 100% true.
Knowing what I know now, I'd be making myself something. As in-
Oh, yeah, for sure. I
Yeah.
agree with that.
Yeah,
I
for
just
sure.
think, like, do you think some people think, oh, I'm wasting away my 20s if I don't go out and have fun sometimes?
Maybe that's your choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, like depends what your vision is. Is your
Yeah.
vision to be the most accomplished beer drinker in the beer garden, or is your vision going to be owning 3 properties by the time you're 30?
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's it.
I don't know. I'm not
it.
sure, but that's just me
that's
now.
What people
That's what I look
decide
at now.
themselves, Yeah.
Okay, so let's quickly go on to this part here. So, yeah, I think your reason, like, sorry, I just got a couple of things I wrote down here about it, but it's like, is your reason growth, self-improvement, change? So many people say to me, I know I need to do this. Well, why don't you do it?
Well, that's the whole question. That's for them to decide why they don't do it, because you can't really tell them what to do.
Yeah. Like, and I'm not putting anyone down by any means, because we all have our own things to work on. I was looking at a guy in a restaurant the other night. He would have been, and I'm not exaggerating, he would have been 150 kilos.
It's a lot.
150. Yeah. So I reckon, like, he was very, very big.
Yeah.
And he couldn't sit near the table. He was that big. And
shouldn't laugh.
Yeah, no, but it's like I just look at everyone as choices. I'm a few kilos overweight at the moment from what I usually am now. That's okay. It's a check. Now I'm back onto it again. But I look at him and I think, I wonder how it got to that.
Yeah, well, that's how many bad choices do you need to make it to get to that?
Yeah, I'm like, I wonder how he got to that. Like, and you know what? I was in the car. He was on the footpath. He was at a restaurant, and I was sitting there, and I was like, I wonder how he got to that. Because that's a journey and a half getting to that.
Would be.
Yeah, it's like whether you're getting fit or big or whatever, it doesn't matter. It's a journey going there. Same. You got to choose one path or the other. And he went like this, and you know what he had in his hand?
Beer.
Can of Coke.
Can of Coke. There you go.
Can of Coke. And I'm like, drink enough of them. That'll help.
Do you think people like that just do not care what anyone like? They don't care about their self-image anymore.
No, that's not right.
I don't know.
No.
Well,
That's wrong.
Well, I don't know.
I think everybody does, but you get used to your habits.
Yeah.
So if you look at somebody else on the other side, and have you seen a really like fit lady or a fit guy?
Yeah.
And they're like, it's like, I'm talking like really chiseled and fit and whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, there's a lot of effort.
I'm laughing.
There's a lot of effort gone into that.
There's a lot of fit girls at the beer on the weekend. That's what it is.
Very funny. Bella's listening. But
She used to say the same thing about dudes.
there's a lot of effort gone into that broccoli.
Yeah. Well, that's why I see it now as well.
Yeah, but it's either way. They're habits. You form habits, whether they're those habits or those habits. And I'm not judging anyone.
No.
I really get interested in the journey to any destination. I'm like, wow, I wonder how that person got to there. I wonder how that person got to there. You know, I wonder how that person got to hunt. I was reading a Tommy Hilfiger post. Google search yesterday and had 400. He's worth 450 million. I'm like, I wonder how he got there.
Yeah.
You know, what did he do on the way? He looks like a pretty balanced guy. Look at his Instagram page. Looks like a cool dude.
Well, he would be. Cool brand.
Yeah, that's right. Cool brand. I'm like, wow, he created that brand and he put the red flag and the red square and the white square. So, and I'm like, anyway, so it's, your choices are going to take you there.
Yeah.
But even Tommy Hilfiger, he would have had a vision of a global brand, I would say, one day. Now look at it.
And it would have just been started off with his own printer at his own house, probably.
Yeah.
Pack him his own clothes in his own boxes, and now he's got people working for him. He just build it up over time.
That's why you can't look at the end result. It's like who you become along the way.
Yeah.
So let's finish on this.
Okay.
All right. So there's a couple of things that I think. Sleep. Super important. Eating well is so important because you want to be a high performance machine, plain and simple.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to do in life, if you're not a high performance machine, you're going to compromise your ability to focus and the energy that you have.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. The corporate athlete. I'm writing a book at the moment called The Corporate Athlete. You want to train, you want to work, you want your time, you want work time, you want family time, all of that sort of stuff. In all those areas, what part, and I'm asking everyone, are you not giving enough time to right now? What part? Because that's the part, it's no different than drinking Coke or snorting it. But it's no different than drinking Coke.
Yep.
Do you think that guy has any vision around his fitness?
No.
No, because your habits are an indicator of the destination that you're going to. Your habits are the key. So if you've got daily habits, and that's where 31 minutes comes in, it's like so powerful because you are committing your steps, yourself, creating your habits to the vision that you want to create. That's how you get there.
Yeah.
That's how you get there. So it's like if you're off track at the moment and you're at a point where you're like, how did I even get here? Whole set of new 31-minute habits, whole set of new 31s. You know where you're going to end up?
You're going to end up with the 10X pretty much.
Exactly where they're headed, exactly where they're positioned, exactly where they're pointed. Yeah, that's where you're going to end up. It's self-accountability. That's why I do little videos. Like I'm like, I don't need you to see me in the gym at the factory. I don't need you to see me walking to the car. But I do it because I want people to think about, I'm making myself accountable to people.
And you want to inspire other people to do it as well.
I do.
Yeah, like that dude that's overweight right now. Like you just have
exactly
to
right.
start
I
doing
feel like
that.
smacking the can of Coke out of his hand and saying, mate, let's turn this thing around.
Yeah, literally.
Let's turn it around. And there's a bit of power in that,
Yeah.
that community-ness.
Yeah.
You know, there's like something can trigger someone and it's like, wow, let's do that. I've been there, you've been there. It's like, I don't want to be here anymore. I want to be, that's where 10X is good.
Yeah.
That's where it's like, make that choice. Where do you want to be? Do you want a helicopter? Do you want this? Do you want that? Whatever it may be. But it's like, okay, now let's create a bridge there. Here's what I want to end with. Be your own coach.
Yes.
Be your own coach.
Yeah.
People pay coaches a lot of money. Why?
Because they need inspiration or motivation or something.
Motivation.
Yeah.
I think there's great place for coaches and things like that. Different times, different stages. But you can be your own coach as well. And I think that's where it starts. And then you add a coach into that, and you're talking about even more power then.
Yeah.
I think coaches are good, so I don't think I'm not saying that. But every day, I'm playing to win.
Yeah.
Every day, inside me. Did I kill it today? Did I stick to what I said today? Did I build the bridge for today to tomorrow? Am I on track for the vision that I've got in my head? Am I? And that's where that's what 31 minutes means to me. And if I answer yes at the end of the day, I know I'm going to head there. If I go out and waste 4 days, gone backwards.
Yeah.
But you've got to have this gauge. You've got to have this almost this map. This is what I'm creating, and I've got to stick to it. Be the most consistent person in your life. And you watch what happens. Your world will start to open up. You'll see results. Maybe not straight away, month, 2 year. I don't care. I don't care how long it takes. This podcast will go somewhere one day.
Yeah.
Guarantee it.
100%.
We're sitting here doing it together, I know someone's going to pick it up one day and go, oh, let's do that. And it'll start to go whatever. Why? Because I want to go speak all over the world. I want to.
Yeah.
I think I've got a bit to offer people in different areas. I'll write another book called The Corporate Athlete, doing it now. And it's like, why? Because I think someone will read it. It'll go somewhere. I want a great company. I want to be an amazing salesperson. I'm number one in McGrath. I want it this year.
Yeah.
We're going to see how we go.
Yeah.
It's like, I know if I keep doing the right things, we will potentially get there. But anyone listening to this that's a bit demotivated or a bit whatever, it's like, it's got nothing more to do than your vision and your steps.
Yeah.
That's it. Thanks for tuning in today.
Thank you for tuning. Kill the week.